asks me to hit all of these buttons. Do you want to save it? Do you don't? Do you want full screen? Do you don't? So there's a few little steps to get going. Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to LisaBug Yoga with Purpose. Today, our purpose is to focus on loosening up the lower back. It's really tight, and as we age, we lose mobility in this area. And there's a lot of different reasons why we could maybe have some back stiffness or pain, and we're going to kind of explore that a little bit today. Also, we're focusing on reminding ourselves of good posture. And a wonderful way to work posture is to stretch all of this through the upper body and then to strengthen the opposite side, because we tend to stand and sit really slumped and rounded. And also to think about our head position. So I'm going to be reminding you a fair amount during your practice today to think about those specific things. So what I want you to do is do a standing cat and cow to start mobilizing your spine. So bring your feet about hips distance, bend your knees, bring your hands right down to your thighs, and then tuck your tailbone under, round your back. That's your cat. And then tip your tailbone back behind you and lift your chest here to look forward. This is your cow. And then we go into cat. Exhale there. Tighten up your abdominal muscles. Pull them in. And then inhale to your cow. And just start to explore how this feels for your spine today. And sometimes when we just get going in the day, it's just really tight and stiff. So starting with this gentle mobility is really a nice way to begin our practice today. And let's do 2 more each direction. Take your time. You don't have to go fast. Just really stretch. And maybe get a little bit more mobility with each one. And last time. And then finish in your cat. And then start to roll your spine up to stand up. When you get to the top, roll your shoulders back and down. Bring the palms of your hands to face front. And I'd like you to have your hands behind your body a little bit here. And we'll go from our prayer, Anjali Mudra, to opening back, squeeze your shoulder blades. And again, Anjali and open back, sometimes called airplane arms. Now, as you press your palms together, sit down into chair and open back. So just exploring these 2 poses. And today I want to put the exhale into chair. So breathe out. And then breathe in. Stretch through the fronts of the shoulders, the pecs. Feel the muscles between your shoulder blades tightening. And then it's important when we do this that we don't lose control of our abdominals right here. So even though we're extending through our pecs right here, I don't want your back to arch and do a big back bend. So keep all this glued in together. Exhale. Inhale. Now the next time we come up to airplane arms, look over your right shoulder. And then come back and sit into chair. Look over your left shoulder. Now, sometimes when we start to rotate our head, the rest of our spine wants to turn that way too, and I'm over exaggerating. But when you look to the left, for instance, pull your right shoulder blade back even further. And when you look to the right, pull your left shoulder back. So you're really creating what we call dynamic tension, and you're stretching through the neck, keeping both shoulders stable and balanced. Good. Make sure your knees are tracking toward your feet and ankles. Let's look one more direction each side. I'm even feeling a stretch all the way down the fronts of my biceps here. It's amazing how everything is linked together. Okay, just come back to center. I want you to inhale to reach the arms up. Exhale, and as you sit into chair, bring your left elbow across towards your right leg. You don't have to come all the way down. Just bring it across so you're twisting. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, rotate. And go ahead and turn the head that direction you're twisting also. And you might glance down at your knees just to make sure that your knees don't go wobbling over to the side too. So really keep your pelvis stable, your knees straight ahead. And some forms of yoga, more classical style, they have your feet really tight together. That's something to try. It's a little bit more challenging on balance. So the width of your feet, that's all up to you. Give yourself a nice strong base of support. Let's look one more time each side. Twist and exhale. Inhale up. Twist and exhale. Inhale up. And then as you lower your arms, soften your knees and swan dive down to a half lift. And I'm going to turn sideways. So a half lift is a forward fold position, but you're only about halfway down. And I want you to notice I have my knees bent. I have my back neutral, so I'm not hunched and rounded like this. My eyes are looking right down out to the floor, slightly ahead of me, just a little bit. And I have my shoulders down and back. I'm tipping my sitting bones kind of back to the back wall. And then I want to flow. We do a little reverse swan dive to come up. And exhale into that half lift. Try to find that position. And your hands don't have to go on your legs. If you want, you can bring your hands behind your back, kind of in that airplane arms position. But having your hands on your knees or shins does help support your low back a little bit. Inhale and exhale. Now, as we start to discover this, you might feel everything loosening up a little bit in the backs of the legs, in the low back, and you could maybe go a little deeper, but not to the point where your hamstrings don't like this anymore, or your lower back doesn't like it anymore. So maybe 3 more and just discover where that comfortable edge is for you. Feel your glutes working as you come up and your hamstrings. Good. 1 more. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale up, hold, press the palms together. Exhale back into your Anjali Mudra. Some of our lymphatic movements, I'd like you to do a nice easy body wave. So arms go back and we come up. We lift up onto the balls of the feet. I feel like since we've been doing these for quite a few weeks and months, that my balance is getting a little bit better when I come up onto the balls of the feet. Now, if you really want to start to get your heart rate up, you're going to speed this up a little bit. If you want to focus more on balance, you're going to go slow. So you pick the pace here. Now, what would happen if one arm was going up while the other one was going back? So try this and this. So we're doing our straight arm swings forward and back. And I have my right hand up when I'm down. and my left hand up when I'm up. That was a little shift forward. That definitely changes the balance here. Good. So now we have to have our arms in reverse. So come down, take this hand up when you're down, and this hand up when you're up. Now you can decide to either inhale when you come up or exhale. Both are good. All breathing is good. All movement is good, whatever your range of motion is today. Maybe you're needing to hold onto a wall or a chair just for a little bit of help here. Let's do a couple more this way. Great job. And relax down. So widen your feet, turn your toes out a little bit, and we're going to sink down into a little ballet squat. Come up and side stretch over to the right. And then we'll sink down into your ballet plie and side stretch to the left. And then you could just use your arms here like so, crossing down, out, and over. So this is for the lumbar spine. We don't think about that quite so much, but we're stretching the QL muscle, which is a big diamond-shaped muscle in our lower back. And interestingly enough, it tends to get tighter on one side than it does the other. So notice that if you're feeling the right side tighter or the left. And we don't need to necessarily feel the same. So we're just noticing that. We're trying to move the same amount each direction. Good. One more each side. And side bend. Good. Let's start to come into our dead arms, and we're going to lift a heel as we twist. And the arms are just swinging like we don't have any control over them. We're rotating our spine, and the arms are just coming along for the ride. They feel really heavy, just kind of like a Raggedy Ann doll. Good. And that heel is lifting, so we pivot on the foot. There's no twisting in our knee here. Now notice if we take the lower body movement out of it, what happens? We can still do it, right? Maybe we're not going as far from side to side. So our waist is independent from our hips, but then go back into that bigger movement. So we have more range of motion side to side. The movement of our lower body is allowing for that. Good. Couple more each side. Great job. And back to center. Just step back into mountain pose. Take your palms forward. Bring your shoulder blades back. Notice how your body's feeling after movement, getting the body energized, the blood flowing. And then we'll step forward a little bit if you have the space. I'm going to move my yoga strap, or you can turn to the side so you're long end on your mat. We'll bring the arms forward here. Step back with your right foot and open the heart and close in. Now, if this height of movement hurts your shoulder, you can go back to the airplane arms where your arms are down lower. So there's a lot of wiggle room here where your arms are placed for this. So we're stepping back, push the heel down, stretch the back of the leg as you're opening up the heart. Strengthening through the upper back. Now, I think everybody that's here today was in class on Tuesday, so you might remember a movement that we did on Tuesday. Let's do one more. So come together. So on Tuesday, we stepped forward with our right foot till our back heel lifted. Then we stepped back with that right foot and the heel is up. So go forward and back. And then do your arms in opposition. Whew. So when we step forward with the right foot, our left hand goes forward and back. So we spend a lot of time in our life doing this one here, forward, right? Because we walk every single day. And what I want you to focus on is keeping your posture upright through this whole exercise. If you need to tap your right foot in the middle before you step back to get your balance, that's fine. If you need to keep your back heel on the ground for better balance, that's fine as well. Let's do one more each side. Functional balance, forward and back. Step back in together. Good, take your time. Just maybe start with the leg first. Step forward left. Step back, ball of the foot, if possible. Forward and back. Then your opposite hand, forward and back. Now it's really important your head position here, because if you look at the ground to see where your feet are going, the rest of your posture is going to get really wonky. So look straight ahead, eyes on the horizon. At least you want your head looking straight ahead, but your eyes can glance down a little bit. It's kind of cool how your eyes can move down without moving your head, right? So you can just do it with your eyes, and that's great. Let's do two more on this side. And one more. Step back together. Now I'd like for you as an option to pick up light hand weights, and I'm going to grab 3s. And you don't need to, it's fine. Palms are forward. So what I want you to do is step forward with your right foot. Your body's on a little angle, and we're going to do 3 lifts back into airplane arms. 2 and 1. Now step back with that right foot. Do 3 airplane lifts. 3, 2, and 1. We're going to do this one more time each side. Step forward. 3. Squeeze your shoulder blades. 2. Back heel lifted if you can. 1. Step back. This is a baby high crescent lunge. 3, 2, and 1. Step together, take a break for a moment. And again, without weight is just fine. You're still going to get nice connection and range of motion. Okay, palms forward. Step forward with your left foot. Lift your back heel up. You're on a little angle. Lift 3. Front knee should be bent. 2. Make sure you're not leaning over forward. 3. Now try to step all the way back. And we lift. 3, 2, abs engaged. 1. One more each direction. Step forward left. Airplane arms. 3, 2. I'm starting to feel that good fatigue in the back of the shoulders. And step back. Lift it up. 3, 2, and 1, and rest. Great job. Put those weights back down. Great work. So a lot of what happens in our low back when it's tight is because of tight hip flexors. So I'm going to turn to the side so I can go down the long end of my mat, stepping back with the right foot into warrior 1. So I have my back heel down. Now your back leg should be straight, Mine can't get straight because of the arthritis in the knee, but I'm trying to straighten it as much as I can. So I want you to really straighten that back leg. Tighten your glute. We'll bring our palms to heart center. Find really good posture with your shoulders down and back. And we are going to twist to the left and then come back to the midline only. I want you to take your right hand and push it into the palm of your left. Create some energy there. Twist left. Come back to center. We'll do one more for 3. Twist left. Come back to center. Step your back foot in. Relax your arms back into airplane. And then step back with your left foot, warrior 1. Any length of stride that feels good for you, and really push this left hip forward and the right hip goes back so everything's level. Tighten your left glute. Pull your shoulder blades back into good posture. Twist right and push your left hand into your right hand and vice versa. Back to neutral. Scoop your abs in. Exhale, twist right. And come back in. This should feel like a good amount of work. Let's do one more. Twist right. And come back in. Step together, airplane arms, mountain. So what I want to do is create a flow for this. So from here, step back right foot, palms at your heart. Twist left. Come to center and step forward, airplane arms. Step back left, warrior 1. Twist right. Center and come up. Now you don't have to match my pace. I want you to take your time so that you feel each and every aspect of this that we talked about. Nice long spine, pushing the hand to come across. Always remembering to tighten the back leg glute. Let's do 2 more on each side. Maybe your twist is getting a little bit more range now as your body's figuring out how to balance here. Nicely done. 1 more each side. I feel the body heating up a little bit. This is nice, challenging work. Last one on the left side. Twisting right. And center. And step together. Great job. I'm going to bring my padding for my knees down onto the floor. I'd like for you to have a heavy band and a light hand weight close by. Let's see, I'm going to do a 5, and my heavy band will just be available once we go down on the floor. And I just want us to come down to hands and knees. So the way I'm going to get there is just to take a nice deep breath in, swan dive down, bending my knees till I can get my hands on the floor, and then walk out to all fours. Okay, we've been working on planks for a while, right, guys? So our bird dog is a great way to work plank muscles. Also, it's a great exercise for our lower back, our SI joint. So what we're going to do is take the right leg straight back, make sure your pelvis is level, and reach the left hand forward to find your bird dog. Now, you can stay like this if you choose, or let's round our back into cat stretch and bring the elbow toward the knee. Scoop your abs in and reach back out long. We've got 3 of these. Exhale, curve your spine, tuck your tailbone under, reach out long to neutral, and 1 more. holding out long to neutral. Level off your hips again. And then lower the hand and knee back down to the mat. Good. We'll move into the other side. Make any adjustments you need to do for your shoulders here. Extend your left leg back. Level off your hips. Right arm reaches. Your thumb rotates up. Then start to round your back as an option to bring the elbow toward the knee. And you're tucking your chin a little bit here. Then reach out back long. Try not to look up with your head here. So keep the back of the neck long. And 2 more. It's really common to be a little bit more wobbly on one side than the other. That's okay. Just do your best. Working those stabilizer muscles in your core. And then we'll hold. And come down with the hand and knee. Take a child's pose or any other relaxing position here. Take a break for your wrists. Maybe you can roll them around a little bit. Okay. So we are going to do a hip exercise, and then I'm going to give you an option to either use a weight or your band, whichever you choose. But let's practice it without any workload because that's another option as well. So back to hands and knees. We'll take the right leg, push it up to the ceiling, bring it back down, and then press it out like a hydrant. And we'll press it up and press it out. Now for a lot more challenge, you could keep your left hand off the floor here. Press the leg up and out. Let's practice this 2 more times. Up and out. If your wrist is bothering you, you can come down to your elbow for this exercise. Absolutely. And out and rest. Good. I'm going to give my right arm a little shake here. Okay, practicing it on the left side. Flex your foot like you're going to put your heel right on the ceiling. Press up and press out. Now we're strengthening our lower back here, as well as our glute and our outer thigh and hip. We've got 5 reps practicing. You can have your right hand off the mat. And let's get 2 more. Check your head position, neutral chin. These can also be done standing up with your hand on a chair. Last time. And then relax, take a break. Now where I'm going to go with it is to put a 5-pound dumbbell behind my right knee. But you can also quickly put a band around your knees. So I'm going to give you a little bit of time to do that if you want. I'm going to grab a little drink of water. No, I'm not. My water bottle's not in here. Never mind. So either your band, I know Linda, you asked for some of this with your band. So if you want to do that, great. Or a hand weight. The benefit of the hand weight is a little bit more hamstring work. So I'm going to tuck that that dumbbell behind my right knee. Okay, you guys ready to start? You don't have to do any weight or any bands. We're just going to do 5 reps. Press your right leg up and down and out and in. Option to have your left hand up. Up, down, out, in. 3 more. When you're pressing up, you're stretching through your hip flexor, which is really good release for the lower back. 2 more. Up and out. Last one. Up and out and take a break. Ooh, okay. Give you a second to switch to the other side if you're using the dumbbell. We have to kind of hug it in there by bending our knees, so you have to get a hold of it, and that really works your hamstring as well. Okay, so let's go on the other side. Flex your ankle, push up, down, out, in. Option to have your right hand up off the floor. We have 4 more. Up, down, out, in. Go slow, especially if you're using the band around your thighs, because you don't want the band to snap your leg back into place. 2 more. I find this side is more challenging for my balance. Maybe it's because I'm on my left hand. I don't know. 1 more. Up, down, out, and in, and relax. Great job. Maybe take a child's pose. Any nice relaxing position. So now we're just going to do a little bit of thread the needle. It's so nice for your lower back. Just a beautiful stretch for your shoulder. So come on back to your hands and knees. Now, one option is just to lift your elbow up like this and then thread the arm underneath you. So if opening this arm out, your shoulder says, ouch, don't worry about doing that. I want you to just get the twist of the spine. And we're going to do 5 of these, breathing in as we come up, breathing out as we bring that shoulder down. 2 more, keep your pelvis level. Keep the same amount of body weight into both knees. And we'll do 1 more and hold your thread the needle. And if your head doesn't come all the way down to the mat, maybe you can tuck your block underneath your head so you can relax it here. Now we're going to have the option of doing 2 things with our left hand. Either reach it way up toward the top of your mat and stretch your lat on your left side and your pec muscle. Or take this left hand and wrap it behind your back, trying to reach your fingertips over to your right hip. This is more of the classical way of doing this thread the needle exercise. Now let's deeply breathe in and out, either through the nose or in through the nose, out through the mouth. Feel that gentle twist and release in your spine. Okay, let's slide the left hand back down to the floor. Give yourself a push up with the strength of your left arm. Inhale, and then just come back down to hands and knees. Give me 1 cat stretch. Tuck your tailbone under. And 1 cow. Tip your tailbone back. Then find neutral. Lift the left, maybe the elbow only. And thread that arm through. Rotate your spine. Come down any amount. And notice you're getting some work here with your right arm, because your tricep and your shoulder is guiding you down to the floor by bending your elbow, and then it's pushing you back up. So we're getting some arm work as well as spinal strengthening and stretching. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. I love thread the needle. So nice for so many reasons. Okay, come down, find your place here where you can relax. Option 1 is to reach your right hand way up to the top of the mat. That feels really nice. But I think the one I need more is this one. And we're working on opening this part and stretching our shoulder today, which helps us with good posture. So I want to pick this one today. And then let's come to our deep breathing. Maybe try the Ujjayi breath. That's where you make that ocean sound in the back of your throat. Close your eyes, 2 more breaths. And then carefully bring the right palm back underneath your shoulder. Push yourself up, open out one more time, and come down. Okay, so I want to give you the option. You might still have your band around your thighs, but we're going to come down onto our back and have our band around the thighs. So take your time to get comfortable with that. A little pillow if you need to behind the back of the head. We're going to do some hip bridging to work on the glutes, the outsides of the glutes with our band. So I'm just going to slide this bigger one. I want you to have a pretty heavy one, pretty heavy band. I'm going to put that around the thighs and then come down onto your back. Now, if you don't have a band, it's okay because you can still do this exercise without the use of the band. So bring your feet right down to the mat, and I just want you to do a pelvic tilt and just push your legs out into that band a little bit so you feel just a little amount of work here. And do a pelvic tilt, tuck your tailbone under so you feel your lower back pushing down to the mat. And then go the other way with your pelvis where you feel like a little space just came underneath your lower back. So as we tilt the back down to the floor, this is called the posterior pelvic tilt, the PPT. And then as we go the other way, that's the anterior pelvic tilt. So if you put your fingers right here on these frontal hip bones, and we'll tilt them down toward the floor, that's the posterior tilt. And then we'll tilt them up toward the ceiling a little bit, that's the anterior. And those little bones you're touching right there are called the ASIS. Anterior, meaning forward. Superior, meaning up. Anterior, superior. Iliac is the I word. Iliac is your hip. And then spine is the S. That's the spiny process. So we just can call it the ASIS. And so I want you to find as much mobility with your pelvis as you can here. This is a very therapeutic exercise for low back stiffness. So if you wake up in the morning, you got a stiff low back, do these before you even do anything else. Just tilt the pelvis forward and back. Now what I want you to do is posterior tilt and then lift up into a bridge and hold. So I want you to squeeze your glutes really tight. Your bridge doesn't need to be very high. And we're going to press out into the band about an inch or two and come back in. Stay up in your bridge. Push out and in and out and in. Feel the hip flexors releasing a little bit, the front of the thighs. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then come down from your bridge in that posterior pelvic tilt. Hey, dude. And then shift back to neutral. Okay, so we're going to do that again. You got to move out of the way, though, so they can see me. So we're going to do it again, but I want you to lift the balls of your feet up off the floor so you have your heels down. Do your posterior pelvic tilt. Lift up into bridge. Keep tucking under. Use your glutes and press out and in. I wanted you to use a heavy band because I want you to feel the pressure to push out without a lot of range of motion. This is a tiny movement. We have 4 more. Try not to use your arms to push down into the mat. 3. Press out. 2. And 1. Then roll down, keep your posterior tilt for just a second, get your low back to touch the floor, and then relax to neutral. Great job. Okay, keeping your band on, we'll come into clamshell. So I want you to roll over onto one side. And with clamshell, we keep our feet together. So I've got my band, I don't want it to go loose. So see this, when I close my knees all the way, this is loosey-goosey. So I don't want that to happen. I want to open my knees just enough that I feel some pull on the band. And we'll go from here up to here and down. So it might be really tiny. And then if you have your weight close to you, I love to do some rotator cuff exercises along with our clamshell. So it's just an option that we come up into your rotator cuff and down. So let's get 8 of these starting now. 1. I like to do a couple of different exercises at the same time because it gives you 3 choices. You can do just the clamshell, you can do just the rotator cuff, or you can do all 3. Or 2. The third choice is to do all 2, not all 3. Oh, I lost count. 4 more, I think. Ooh, do you guys feel the hip? 3. Oh my goodness, yes. And 2. And 1. Great job. Set your weight down. Now relax your legs. So my strap just went loose. But you can also put a little ball or your yoga block between your knees here. I kind of like the block, but you could put your ball there. And we are going to come into a twist. So I want you to lift yourself up and adjust your bottom shoulder forward a little bit. So push it forward and then roll back. And if this feels okay to your top arm, you can open it out to the side to give yourself a pec stretch. If that doesn't feel so hot, just keep your arm down on your waist or on your torso. So I want your arm to feel comfortable. And then you can kind of scoochie around here a little bit to see if you can get a deeper stretch. So I'm going to lift my chest up off the floor and rotate a little deeper and then come down. So I'm trying to get my left shoulder blade to come as close to the floor as possible. So let's take about 5 really deep breaths. Maybe your ujjayi breath would be nice. You could do a cleansing breath where you inhale deeply through your nose and then exhale forcefully through your mouth. Feel your rib cage expanding as you breathe in, kind of that bucket handle breath. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale completely. And then come back over to your side out of your twist. And then we'll change sides. So I'm going to remove the block. I want to be facing you. So I'm going to push myself up and come over to the other side with my hand weight. But you can roll away from the camera if you'd like to do that as well. Might be a little quicker adjustment. Okay. Make sure that your head here is nice and comfortable, neutral. Put a little bit of pull on your band for your clamshell, press out and part way down. And then your option to use your hand weight for your rotator cuff exercise. And try not to let your band go loosey-goosey. Let's get 8 from here. 1. And this can be done without a weight. You can just practice this rotator cuff movement without any workload. And it's one of those muscles where we don't want to try to do heavy weight with this. It's a muscle that gets injured very easily, so not heavy weight. I probably could grab my 5s, but that would be pushing it. Keep your feet together. 4 more. Squeeze it up. And 3. We're not going fast with these. We're very slow and controlled. 2. Ooh. And 1. And relax. This is so good for the low back. The SI joint really strengthens when we do that clamshell. Okay, so let's get set up for our twist. So I'm going to tuck my block between my knees. I'm going to bring my left shoulder forward, my whole torso, and then try to open back. Now, this is not as easy to get my shoulder blade down to the floor, so just kind of scooch around until you find a restful position. And if your knees come up the floor a little bit like that, that's fine. You can actually put your block underneath the bottom knee. That might be helpful. But I don't want this right arm or whichever arm you have on top hanging into space. So make sure it's supported by the floor or by putting it on your torso, wherever it feels good. And then let's close our eyes and find our breathing. And just notice what you're feeling in your body. Twists are so therapeutic for the spine, the lower back. And then this one in particular, I'm looking for opening up the heart, as posture is one of our purposes today in our practice, helping with good posture. Your chin should be pretty neutral here, but you can turn your head to the right or left. That's okay. But try not to have it jammed down into your chest or lifting back and stressing your neck muscles. So everything is really relaxed. Let's take about 3 more deep breaths. And then if you've got a block between your knees, you can remove that. And this time we're just going to roll onto our back facing the ceiling. And you can take your time to slip your band off of your legs. Some are easier bands than others to get off, so take your time. And then we are going to do a really nice therapeutic exercise for the low back. It activates our core and it stretches our hip flexors a little bit. And this is called wind relieving pose. So if it feels okay for your back, I want you to outstretch both legs so everything is long. If your low back says, that's not going to cut it for me today, then bend your left knee and set your foot on the floor. So these are 2 ways you can start, either both legs straight or your left knee bent. And we're going to reach the arms above the head to take a stretch. Inhale. Exhale and pull the right knee up to the chest and curl your head and shoulders up off the mat. And then we'll do 5 total of these, reaching the right leg out. Inhale, Stay on that side again. Exhale, pull up. 3 more. Now, if this bothers your neck to lift your head up, you don't have to do that piece. You can keep your head down. But I'd like for you to, if you can, to curl up because that gives you the core work. 2 more. Push your low back down into the floor. 1 more. And then just lay back and rest. So now either your right knee is bent or both legs are straight. We'll inhale to reach the arms up. Exhale, pull the left knee in, curl your head and shoulders up, flex your ankle. Wind relieving pose. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more for 5. You can reach over your knee or you can reach under your knee. Just not directly on the back of your knee. There's a lot of blood flow there that might get occluded if we hold behind the back of our knee. Couple more. Really feel the stretch. Push the lower back down into the mat. Last one. Curl up. And then just lay back. Set both feet to the floor, knees bent. Open your knees like a clamshell, keeping your feet together. This is our Supta Baddha Konasana. We're letting the hip flexors and the inner thighs relax. If you feel any stress in your lower back, you can kind of slide your feet away from you a little bit. See if that kind of helps that. Maybe it doesn't. Make some adjustments with where your legs are oriented. Or you can do this pose sitting up. It's your butterfly stretch. Now, if it feels comfortable for your shoulders, bring your arms to goalpost arms. So I'm going to take my elbows out at about a 90-degree angle. Do the back of your hands touch the mat? A lot of people, the back of their hands are floating up like this because we don't have enough external rotation to come back. So if that's the case, move your arms around a little bit until you can get your hands to find the floor, if at all possible. And let's take 3 deep breaths here. Soften your jaw. Try not to tense your facial muscles. And then we're going to reverse with what our legs are doing. So bring your knees together and walk your feet out. So you're making a little tent with your knees. You have your knees touching in the middle and your feet are out on each side. This is a nice pose to do that usually feels pretty good for the low back when you're doing something like Shavasana or a relaxation pose. And we still have a nice heart opener here. Take 3 more breaths. And then prepare to come up to a seated position. Any way that works for you. You can roll over to your side and press up. You can hold behind your legs and roll up like you're rolling like a ball. And come to sit up tall. You can sit on a blanket or a block. So we're going to do a little cradle the baby before we finish our class. You can do this sitting down. If it's not working to do it sitting up, go ahead and lay back down onto your back. So I'm going to straighten out my left leg. I'm going to bring my right knee and take my foot across. And I'm just going to go side to side. So the full cradle the baby, there's a bind with this. So we get our arm like this, the other arm like this. We interlace our hands. I can kind of do it. Used to be able to really do it, but not so much. So I just want you to comfortably bring the leg. It's just like kind of like you're rocking a baby here. Cradle the baby. It's a great stretch for your hip. It's not a hold, it's a moving stretch. It's a dynamic stretch. Great, so let's try that on the other leg. So the ankle comes across. And we go back and forth. You can hold anywhere that feels comfortable for you. Your arms are just helping you to guide this stretch across and out. So our thigh is externally rotated while we're moving it through horizontal abduction and adduction. That's a mouthful, but basically we're stretching the deep external rotators of the hip, which is great for the low back. Okay, let's just find a comfortable cross-leg pose. Sitting tall, lengthen, take a nice big deep breath in. Twist to the right, bringing the left hand across the right knee. Look behind you with a really nice long spine. And then reach the arms back up to the midline. And twist the opposite direction. Whoop. Hang on just a second. My phone just switched on. And then back to the center. Reach. Press your palms together into your Anjali Mudra as we pause to celebrate our hard work today and the dedication we have to the health of our spirit, mind, and body and the LisaBug community. And the joy that resides in my heart honors the joy in the hearts of each of you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. I would love to chat with you if you can stay on board. Otherwise, let me know how you did with class today, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Let's get our recording shut off here and see how we did today with the low back. And stop recording. There we go.